Morning guys, I'm in the Lake District this week working, so I thought I'd nip up to Blea Tarn at first light to catch a sunrise. Now I'm here a good hour before sunrise. It's dark as night out there, and I thought I'd have the place to myself. It's freezing cold, blowing a gale, and the light's not particularly fantastic, so I really did think I'd have the place to myself. But there's 4 cars in the car park, another car's just arrived, and I can actually already see head torches down on the lake. It's going to be a good morning. It's 1 degree in the car. It's freezing cold and it's due to snow this weekend. Now we like that because when the weather is that bad and when it gets that cold in the winter, the lazy people or the more intelligent people stay at home. That is just typical. Look at that. That is a blood red sky. And if I twist round to where we are, nothing. Isn't that just typical? Now there's a slight problem when you come to iconic places to photograph. If you can call it a problem, that is, of course, is the chances are you're likely to meet other photographers. And me being a chatty person, you end up setting up, grabbing a couple of shots, then before you know it, you're standing still drinking coffee. 2.5 hours later, you've put the world to rights, but you haven't got any work done. And that was the case this morning. Met a lovely fella, by the way, Matthew. If you are watching this, great to meet you this morning. Great chat, and hopefully we'll bump into each other again. That's a good thing. How wonderful is that? See, photography, landscapes, get out there, meet nice people. You just can't beat it. It's so obvious what the foreground interest is. It's so obvious what the background interest is. It's very difficult to pull yourself away from the position where I'm currently stood, taking the iconic shot. But don't let that pull you off. Grab it. Let me very quickly talk you through this particular shot. But what you're looking at now is the composition that I'm likely to go for, certainly from where I'm stood at the moment anyway. It's very simple. 24mm. I'm going to do a panoramic sweep, so I'm going to take 6 images going across the Tarn. Portrait mode, f11, ISO 100, and I think my shutter speed is something like 1/10 of a second. So unfortunately it's not going to be very exciting when it comes to the water. You're just going to get a still water. There's a slight breeze as well, so we don't have that gorgeous reflection. I can imagine what it'd be like if you turn up here and that water is flat. So it's a fairly simple composition. It's pretty much the iconic shot when you get here, with the exception of maybe moving slightly further to the right or moving on the other side of the wall. It'll make sense when you come here what I'm talking about if you've never been here before, and if you have been here before, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I'll grab this shot now and then I'll wander around and see if there's any more compositions I can grab. I just got so lucky. I was just saying about how poor or how pants or how neutral this lighting was, and as soon as I started taking a panoramic sweep, we had a break in the clouds, the sun shone through and just lit up that mountain in the background. Just delicious. This morning, it's cold this morning. I'm at Blea Tarn. What a fantastic place this is. I've never been before. It is just fantastic. What I will say right off the bat is if you're maybe new to photography and you're looking for somewhere where you can go that's relatively easy to walk, relatively easy to find, then I'd say categorically this is the #1 place. If you have access obviously to the Lake District, if you're not too many miles away, then I'd come here, Blea Tarn, because Blea Tarn is easy to find. There's a big car park in place. It's National Trust, so you have to pay for it, so just be warned, unless you're a National Trust member, of course, in which case it's free. But it's literally a 5-minute walk from the car park to where I'm stood now, which is the iconic place to come and take pictures. You're likely, like it was in my case this morning, you're likely to be joined by other photographers, because this is probably the most photographed area of the Lake District, or certainly one of the most photographed areas of the Lake District. But don't let that put you off. There's plenty of room. You'll meet nice people. I'm sounding like as if this is an advert to actually come here, but no, right off the bat, this is a perfect spot for landscape photography, especially if you're new, because it's 5 minutes away and it's dead easy. Here's a question for you. What accessory would you miss the most if it wasn't in your bag? Now, I mentioned earlier on I don't have my Lee 10 stop filter. I broke it unfortunately a couple of weeks ago when I was in Lewis and Harris, and I so miss it. I so miss it. I'm desperate for one this morning and I haven't got one, which is really annoying. But I thought to myself, I wonder if there are other accessories that maybe other people use that they would really miss if they didn't have it in their bag. So there's a question for you. What accessory would you miss if it wasn't in your bag? Leave a comment below. Enjoyed that. Very enjoyable morning. And this goes to show, sometimes you can just keep it really simple, come away with a nice shot. It might well be iconic, doesn't really matter. It's just been a great morning, a fantastic morning for that matter. A bit cold now though, I may have already mentioned it. Let's get that kettle on. T-E-W-E-T, Tewet Tarn. Absolutely gorgeous spot, but it's proven to be a little bit awkward. Right in the middle of the day, the light is really bright, which restricts us really from shooting from one angle of the tarn, looking out obviously away from the sun. It's nice because it lights up the mountains in the background, but it is proving to be just a little bit tricky. On top of that, it's amazing, the weather at the moment is absolutely just, it's delightful. To think we're literally less than 2 weeks off Christmas, so winter is pretty much knocking on the door. I think something like, is it 23rd of December is the first official day in the UK of winter? I think so. Anyway, it's absolutely delightful. It's a little bit chilly, but there's no breeze in the air, and obviously because there's no breeze in the air, that's why we've got this stunning reflection that's going on in the tarn right now. Every now and again there's a little bit of a breeze that whips up and it destroys that reflection, but so far we've managed to grab a couple of shots. Okay, so the composition we've pretty much settled for is fence posts leading into the water, bottom right hand thirds, mounted in the background with the reflection of the water is just gorgeous. An award winner it isn't, but a very nice picture it is. So my setup for this, very straightforward, f11 ISO 100, and I'm at 80th of a second. I've got a 0.9 filter on the front there to try and bring some of that light down, bring some of that glare down in the sky, and that's it. So no 10 stop filter, very simple, very straightforward, and it looks quite nice. Yep, very happy. Absolute whirlwind of a trip. That's Tewet Tarn taken care of. Back to the van, cup of coffee, on to the next location.